Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Green Man channel. Hope you're all good and well and ready for this next episode of the Shoegaze Files, where I'm joined again by, of course, my friend and fellow YouTuber from Puerto Rico, can't say it, Hector, the Chill Dude on a Couch Reviews, who's joining me today to do this special video. We're going to count down the top five, our top five Slowdive tracks. And of course, Slowdive, one of the holy trinity of the shoegaze bands, formed back in 1989, and of course they're known for iconic albums like Souvlaki. So we've got to choose our top five here. So how are you doing today, Hector?
I'm doing good, and yeah, it's Puerto Rico, but when you visit me in Puerto Rico, like I'll take you out, and I'll get some spice in your British.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. It went a bit wrong, didn't it? Puerto Rico.
It's not as easy. No, yeah, it's the R.
It's the R.
Like, yeah, it's the R that you have to puer. Yeah, it's the because like people in the States say it's Puerto Rico. No, it's not Porta Potty. It's Puerto Rico. But yeah, it's a pleasure to be back here on the Shoegaze Files, and obviously Slowdive, it's just a classic shoegaze band. So picking five songs from their catalog is not an easy task.
Yeah, it's not like there are lots of albums to choose from, but I mean, I suppose they have their EPs as well, don't they? That they released like 3 EPs before they got to Just for a Day, and then you've got sort of four albums, all of which I think are pretty good. I'm not quite as big on Pygmalion, although I think that has its moments as well. So yeah, feel free then to kick off with your number five.
So on my number five, I was like trying to pick maybe songs that maybe weren't as maybe not like the classics from Slovakia, and I picked a song called "Just the Breeze" or "Catch the Breeze."
Catch the Breeze, yeah.
Catch the Breeze, and it sounds like the album title. Like it's very breezy, very chill, very relaxing, and I hadn't heard that one that much, so I really enjoyed it. It's a song that it's great to put like in the morning when you're like brewing your coffee, your tea, if you're in England. And yeah, I think it's a more underrated song that maybe wouldn't pop out to you like right away. But yeah, great song.
Yeah, I like the bridge in that song. I think when it goes really drifty and loads of reverb just kicks in, doesn't it? If I remember right, for Catch the Breeze, it's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, so I picked it at my number five.
Yeah, my number five is a track from the it's a bonus track from Souvlaki. It's not one of the main tracks from the album. It's called Country Rain. It's on that sort of bonus disc release, I think, of the it's a really just a really nice and I think it really shows Rachel Goswell's vocals in a really good light, this song in particular. I mean, she's always good as a vocalist, I think, but I really like her vocal on this song. It's just really kind of it's quite restrained, but it's definitely that sort of classic, almost whispery style of vocal on the track. And it does feel a bit like you're walking through a rain shower as you're listening to it, but in the nicest way. It's like a warm rain shower. It's not a cold rain shower. It's a really nice track, very atmospheric. And you can almost hear the beginnings of... Now, actually, I must admit, I don't know when they recorded Country Rain, or all I know is it's a bonus track from Souvlaki. But it does sound a bit like they're teasing what was to come with Pygmalion, because it's quite an ambient style of track, that one as well. Quite slow, but most of their tracks are slow, but it's very atmospheric and has that ambient sort of sound to it. And it's just, yeah, beautiful stuff. It's my number five.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to describe. Like when you did that video with stained glass stories, like I gotta try to stay away from saying that it's atmospheric, but I'm like, like how more can you describe it? Like what words can you bring?
It's only so many words. Yeah, only so many words.
Yeah. So for my number four, I'm picking a song from the 2017, their last album, Slowdive, and it's the second track, Star Roving. I think this is a more upbeat track. I love the dun, 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 like the guitar that they use. It feels like uplifting, and it's for being a Slowdive song. It's one of their more like up tempo
Yeah.
type of songs. And I thought that was a great comeback album.
Mm,
Actually, I have to admit something. The first time that I listened to Slowdive was with that album.
mm,
And then I went back, like in the 90s, I had no idea who Slowdive were. So I've been listening to Slowdive just a few years,
yeah.
but I've really gotten into them. But yeah, this was the first album that I heard from them because I think Señorita Sabrosura recommended them to me. She's like, "Oh, you should listen to Slowdive." I'm like, "Okay, I'll listen to them." And yes, this was my first album, and I think Star Roving is a very uplifting, more track that really I don't know why I just love that guitar tone that they used, and it feels like a song that you could go on a road trip to. The type of vibe for me. So yeah, so that's why my number 4 is Star Roving from their self-titled 2017 album. What do you think about that song?
Yeah, I like it. I like it. It's quite a clear sounding track, I guess. It's not as ghostly, and like you say, it's
Mm-hmm.
quite tempo. Um, and sits nicely on that album as well, kind of avoiding, because I think that album's kind of, there's a lot of, it's so well produced. I think one thing I really like about the 2017 album as a whole is that it brings out the Slowdive, I think, sound really well. Their early albums I love, but I think they never quite showed the potential of the band in a way. Just like maybe, I mean, Souvlaki aside, maybe I felt like there was all that potential that they could create something that was that had all the balance of the tones in the music coming out really well. And I think the new album in 2017 just felt so magic because it felt like something that might have come out in the 90s, but with modern day production. And I think
Yeah,
that's one of those tracks that does that, I guess. Yeah. So
nice.
my number 4, I guess, right?
Yes.
My number 4 is a bit of a classic. It's a bit of a classic. Machine Gun from Souvlaki. Um, you've got the alternating of Rachel's vocals with Neil's, and I think it's just a really nice song. And you've got a kind of phaser effects that runs through the song. I don't know if you noticed that with Machine Gun. There's like this little phaser sound, but which I'm not sure I can remember them using as much of that in some of the other songs, but it gives it a really nice vibe. So yeah, Machine Gun, again, yeah, lovely arrangement, that track. Don't really have too much else to say about it, except it doesn't sound anything like a Machine Gun. It's far different from listening to a machine gun going off. It's much more relaxing.
Yeah. So for my number 3, I pick a song from Slovakia, actually the album opener, Allison.
Oh,
And yeah, it's a beautiful song. And like you can't go wrong when you pick a song with a woman name on it. Like usually it's a hit. If you have a name on it, it's usually a hit. Like that would be a video for the future. Like let's do a ranking of songs with woman names on it
names.
from
It's a
worst.
common thing, yeah. Very common
Yes,
thing.
and
So
like
many.
so many, but yeah, I like how like they go listen, and it's really dreamy. It's like dream, like it sounds like they're like whispering in her ear all the things they want to say to this Allison person. So I thought it's a great album opener because it's really soothing. It's mellow, but it's mellow in a way that doesn't put you to sleep. It gets you like in a trance, like have you seen the ASMR videos where people are all like, hey, whispering and going like, so that's like the
The kind of
first.
effects.
That's what Slowdive does. They are ASMR music before it was cool to do the blue and all those noises. But yeah, that's my number 3 pick, Alison from Slovakia.
Oh yeah, yeah, good choice. Can't really fault that one. That's a great choice. My number 3 is actually from Pygmalion. As much as it's probably my least favorite album, it does have I was almost entertaining picking this as number one because I think it's really haunting, this track. It's Blue Skied and Clear. Do you know that one, Hector? It's got this little soprano vocal, this female vocal in it, sort of slightly operatic moment in the song before Neil's singing comes in, and it's really, really lovely. Yeah, I just like everything about that song. It kind of teases the big moments well. I think sometimes with some of the Slowdive songs, it's almost you know what's going to come. But the thing with Blue Sky and Clear, they tease the big moment really well in the song, if that makes sense.
Mhm. Yeah.
And I love that track. I mean, like you were saying, it's just yeah, a bit ASMR, I suppose. But yeah, really, really relaxing song. Or
I'm
just
telling you,
stunning as well. You know, it hits you. It doesn't just relax you; it hits you. That
yeah, it hits you. I planned sometime on the future. I've been thinking for a while. I'm gonna do an album review ASMR style,
one.
just to fuck with
You
people.
should, yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna do it, but it'll be with the least expected album. Like maybe I should do it like for the like do it for the heaviest album ever and just do it that style. It would be hilarious as hell.
yeah,
So going back to Slowdive, my number two is actually from the 2017, and it was hard to choose. I was in between Slow Mo that opens the album or Sugar for the Pill, but I went with Sugar for the Pill because I don't know, that song is just beautiful. I love the harmonies and the soft guitar that they has, like the it's just
yeah.
beautiful. A beautiful track,
Um,
and I don't know, and I love the title, "Sugar for the Pill,"
mm,
and it feels like a song that puts you in a happy trance, like in a very like Zen like type of mood. Like you could put that song and do some yoga to it.
yeah,
That's what I feel when I listen to that track. And
yeah.
Slow Mo is
The
good, yeah,
lyrics are
and the
good.
lyrics.
Yeah,
That's why I picked it over Slow Mo. And that's my number two, Sugar for
yeah,
the Pill.
yeah. Such a great song. That one. So my number two is Waves. This is a bit of a surprise choice. Waves from Just for a Day. Their debut album, which is the sixth track about that. Yeah, another one of these super melancholic slow dive tracks with a Neil. I think this is just Neil on vocals for this song. You know, where he sort of almost you know talk about the waves washing away his you know, I think it's one of those songs of washing away his negative feelings and stuff, where you know, washing away his sorrows. And I like again, it's just an example of one of those songs where they set up the chorus really well. You know, you get a sort of some slight lift in the music, and then it hits you when he goes, don't you know? And then it leads into that really, really, really big chorus. And yeah, Waves is, yeah, that's one of my favorite slow dub track. Well, it's my number two, so it obviously is one of
Yeah,
my slow dub
that
tracks.
makes sense. I'm wondering if we had the same number one. We'll
Oh,
find out.
we'll find out.
So my number one is from Slovakia, and it's When the Sun Hits. And I just think that song, I love the vocal melodies on it. I like the guitar. It feels very lush, very atmospheric as well. There's not much ways to describe it, but it's a mid-tempo song. It's not super fast, but it's not super slow. I like that it's mid-tempo, and I like sometimes there's a part on the guitar that it gets like a chord that gets like drony, like they drowned out that I make with sounds because I can't play. I wish I could play guitar and do it right here, but no. But I like how they take that guitar tone and they like
Mm.
keep it going, and it sometimes like the guitar tone keeps on going, but it never gets stale or boring. And I think it makes sense because the song is called When the Sun Hits. So I wonder if the effect of that guitar going over is like the effect of like the sun rising and like just hitting your face. I don't know why, but it kind of sounds like that with what they do with the guitar tone line that keeps on going and bending. So it's like the guitar is the song. I'm
Yeah,
trying to analyze it that way.
I think When the Sun Hits is the song that you would recommend to anyone, maybe even new to slow. I think it epitomizes Slowdive and what they do so well.
Yeah, it's got everything that what they do well.
All the strengths of Slowdive in that one song, really. It does make me think a bit, Slowdive, they make me think of a sort of South Coast English, beach and promenade with the sunset, sun going down, and they've got all their music's got that kind of feeling, that sort of strong imagery with the sound and the nostalgic feel, and making you think of early memories and early childhood memories sometimes, and that sort of thing. It brings you back that real kind of that When the Sun Hits makes me think of those sorts of scenes and memories. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great track, and I think, like you said, it really has everything that makes Slowdive. So if you never heard of Slowdive, I think that's the perfect introduction to them.
Yeah. So this is where this is going to be interesting, because my number one is your number two, Sugar for the Pill. So I suppose it's surprising. Yeah, I decided not to put When the Sun Hits in my top five because it's a great song, and it could have easily been in my top five, as could many other Slowdive tracks. But yeah, I went with Sugar for the Pill, and I think it's because I have played that song so many times since it came out, more than the rest of the album as well. It's a go-to song. My go-to song was Don't Know Why, and that was actually a song that I named in my top 40 songs of all time. But I couldn't really decide whether to put Don't Know Why or Sugar for the Pill in that list that I did, my top 40 songs of all time, because I like them almost equally. And one day I may wake up and I might be in more of a Don't Know Why mood. Another day I might be more in a Sugar for the Pill mood. But Sugar for the Pill, it's just brilliant. And like I was saying earlier, I just think the power of their music comes through with that modern touch of the production of this album. The bass, Nick Chaplin's bass on here, I think you might have mentioned it when you're talking about this. Yeah, the bass guitar tone is just nigh on perfect, isn't it? It really comes out strong. Great lyrics. That album is full of stellar songs like Star Roving, you mentioned. Another really good one's No Longer Making Time, but that's more likely to be don't want to give the game away, but honorable mention. But yeah, I honestly think Sugar for the Pill is a masterpiece of a song. It's I think it's actually had like about 7 million views on YouTube. A shoegaze song having that many views, I think is quite unusual for a YouTube video of a shoegaze song. I think that speaks a lot that song has reached out to quite a few people. Yeah,
it is. So yeah.
All right.
So we'll have an honorable mention, right?
Do you want to say however many you want to do, 4 or 5 maybe tracks that you would have honorable mentions?
So yeah, honorable mention for me from Slovakia, I think Dagger, which is like a more ballady type of song. I thought that was really great. From 2017, Slow Mo is a great. Also Don't Know Why. Yeah, it's another great track that obviously you mentioned. I also like the Ballad of Sister Rue from Just for a Day. That's a great one as well.
Yeah,
right one. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions for Slowdive.
Great. Yeah, mine. It seems strange to say an honorable mention is When the Sun Hits, but as I said, I just wanted to put in 5 songs, a couple of which might not be quite as well known. But yeah, it's When the Sun Hits, Catch the Breeze, which was one of your choices, right?
Yeah, my number 5.
Your 5. And Don't Know Why and Slow Mo, again, just super tracks from that self-titled album. And then I've got a slightly unusual pick. And I don't know if you know this one, Hector, but it's possibly because it's not on the main release again on Just for a Day. It's a bonus one. bonus track called Avalyn 2. Now, I remember not knowing this song until only a year or two ago. I think it was the middle of a lockdown, and I went out on a walk, and Avalyn 2 came onto my my iPod. I was like, I don't remember hearing this song before, and it's a bonus track, and it's an instrumental for all 8 minutes. And it's quite repetitive, but in the best way possible. It's one of those really hypnotic tracks that's hypnotic. It's repetitive, but yeah, it's great. It kind of builds very gradually as well. I think they subtly enhance the track a little bit as it goes on, and it's just really moody. But it's like, yeah, it's really good. It's an 8-minute track that I think you kind of don't really feel the time too much. So yeah, I recommend that one if you don't know Avalyn 2.
I don't know it, so I will have to check it out.
Yeah,
and you know, it's even though it's hard picking songs, you feel they have like 4 albums, which I know that they took a hiatus, but I wonder, will they release more music, because it's been a few years since 2017.
Yeah, I know this is almost another topic, isn't it? But I honestly think they did tweet or put out a status that they were working on LP5 about this time last year. But what worries me is it's been a year. There's not been any kind of promotion. There's not been a single.
Yeah.
And it's like, are they going to do a tool to us and make us wait for years? I hope not. I really do, because, you know, it feels like they must still have. And then the other thing with me and Slowdive, I think they must still have, Neil must have a lot of other creations to have had that hiatus, and there must be other stuff there that's in the works if they've been working on a new LP that's worth releasing. I mean, they're too good. I mean, there must be something on the way, you'd hope, but who knows? Who knows?
I know. I'm just looking at my background. It's getting so bright here that it looks like like Slowdive is entering my room.
It's all right. Your background's at least more shoegazy than mine. It's like you just need some text in the top right, and you'd have a Shoegaze album cover.
yeah, like the Shield dude does shoegaze.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very interesting, like listening to Slowdive and getting into them. And picking songs was very, very hard, because they almost have no bad songs.
Yeah.
So it was a challenge.
It was tough. It was tough. Cool. Well, thanks for joining me for this special episode of the Shoegaze Files. This will be followed up quite soon. I'm actually putting out another episode at the weekend after this one. And that's an interview with the Waterville. They're a sort of dream pop band, and nice. The drummer and he's multi-instrumentalist and producer of their latest EP called Isle of Blue. So that'll be going up next weekend. So anyway, don't forget to drop a subscription to Hector's channel, The Chill Dude on a Couch Reviews, and help increase his subscribership. He does a great channel, and he is, for me, he's like the master interviewer. He does really good interviews for lots of different bands on his channel, as well as reviews and some similar content to the Green Man channel as well. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well. Help me get towards 400, hopefully before too long. And thanks very much all for watching. Otherwise, from me, take care. Bye for now.
Bye.